So I'm filming this clip after having made all the other ones for this video, but I'm just gonna cut to the chase and put it in at the beginning. I have now opened up my community tab for the channel. I talked about it in the last video at a certain point, and well, I opened it up about 2.5 weeks ago now, and I posted my diagrams, my original diagrams for my theories and implementations for my scientific proposals there. It was the first post. The ones that were sadly stolen, which I'll make again, don't worry. As well as some things concerning the city of Laval. One to do with the only public hospital in the city, Cité de la Santé, and well, where it's located exactly, and in comparison to how many hospitals are publicly open in other cities in Quebec, as well as photos of the taxation documents that I found in House 265 St. Rose Boulevard. So I will let you go read those for yourself. So yeah, just okay. Enjoy the video.
Speaker? She can't see these
Okay. I want to highlight this photograph for advertisement purposes of this clothing company here, boutique guess, whatever. Okay, this is very clearly, as far as I'm concerned, a clear example of over-sexualization in corporate advertisement propaganda. Now look, as far as I'm concerned, just look at, well, how these other pictures are framed and laid out. Well, once again, they're clearly done to sell this fictional, dreamy, beautified ideal to people. But anyway, looking at how they're framed, I don't have a problem with it. Just what it could be used to represent. And in terms of this one, I wouldn't have a problem with this. Like, very clearly what it's trying to, well, express, if it was meant for, well, the purposes of sexual entertainment in terms of artistic expression and, well, some amount of, well, sexual arousal or sexual sensualism. But here's the thing, it's so clearly not. This is clearly an attempt to just, well, sell sex for a commercialist profit. That's so clear. Okay, and also, I kind of am, even if it was for sexual entertainment, it's kind of, oh, sorry. Assault? Oh, guess I didn't want to get in the frame. It's kind of, the way it's, the way the models are positioned, it looks pretty stupid as far as I'm concerned anyway. This angle, at least in my opinion, it looks very, well, one, it's framed very, it's very patriarchal as far as I'm concerned. It's also just in terms of advertisement, not only are they trying to just sell the physicalities of sexuality for profit, they're also trying to, well, cater to patriarchal consumerism as far as I'm concerned, because it's kind of coming off as if they're being, well, it's obviously supposed to represent femininity, as if she's being very, well, subservient to him and very lustful towards his, well, position and attire that he's wearing. So as far as I'm concerned, I would have yes, I have a problem with that no matter what. But just in terms of it being displayed for sexual gratification, if it was just, well, blatantly supposed to be for that, I wouldn't have a problem with that. If it wasn't for very clearly an attempt at gaining mass profit. So, I just figured I'd rant about that quickly. Alright, time to leave this capitalist hellhole. New backpack. So, downtown Laval. It's, well, I have to say, considering this is only technically my third time being down in this area of the city. Well, okay, it has a bit of a unique architectural style to it compared to most other metropolitan areas that I've been in. Somewhat. A mix of, instead of, say, compared to, well, Ottawa, downtown Toronto, downtown Mississauga, downtown, from what I've seen on maps, downtown Montreal. It's got a interesting mix of buildings reaching almost to the point of skyscrapers, but not quite. Well, technically. technically skyscrapers. And then more low-hanging corporate offices. And not even exactly, at least from what I'm recalling, to sort of the same style as Gatineau, downtown area of that city, as it had, for the most part, more so just low-hanging corporate facilities and hotels and whatever other buildings they had piled up in that commercialist nightmare. But, well, in terms of going through this area in the now 3 times that I've been around here, I've mainly stuck to the same-ish routes, because, well, every time I was just really passing through here to get to a different area of the city. But, well, now I'm just gonna drive around it. I'll explain more on that in a sec. Most likely all night. Pull an all-nighter. And talk about various things I've researched in regards to it. And whatever else. But this time, I thought I'd try something a bit different. So, considering all my other exploration videos since I started making them in Ottawa, considering they've all been, well, predominantly on foot, and only at certain points have I showcased footage from, say, within, well, when I took a ride on the Metro Rail in Ottawa, and yeah, actually I think that might be it for the most part. Or if you want to count getting ways into Quebec when I've hitchhiked and been in people's cars for those brief moments. But, well, for the most part, predominantly foot trekking. But, this time, I, well, thought I'd change it up a bit. So, everyone, meet Jimmy. Yep, Jimmy. My agender electric powered bike, or either Jimmy or Donnie. Let's go with Donnie. I don't know. Okay, actually, you still have some amount of... Okay, you still have a throttle on you, it looks like. So you're powered by something. I thought it would be... Well, you'd be electric powered, but considering, you know, the mini solar panels here. But apparently here it says standardized in red coloring, well, just standard, and then blue is electric. So I don't know if you're gas powered, but well, apparently it's supposedly cheaper to ride you. I highly doubt it, but so yeah, Yeah, and these are completely original names. I haven't used these at all before when naming my mobilized units. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so the city of Laval has, performatively, of course, as far as I'm concerned, installed, well, just public transit bikes that various, well, citygoers can just take and ride for a price, but, well, as you can see here, they put it in as a performative move to so-called keep the environment green, or maybe for some false fitness promotion for healthy living or a healthy lifestyle in terms of physical activity, but we all know they don't give two damn shits about that. And neither do their lobbyists. But, regardless, it is a mode of transportation as far as I'm concerned right now. And basically, I went in actually to this elitist restaurant underneath this elitist hotel, and asked one of the servers, who was very nice, how might I actually remove one of these bikes to take it for a spin on the town. And they said, well, just insert a credit card of some kind. Hopefully they take debit, and pay the toll, and then off you go. And interestingly, and I don't know if it's like this in very many other places in Canada, or, well, in either the provinces of Ontario or Quebec, but apparently you can take these bikes and you don't actually, at least according to the server, what they told me, you don't actually have to return the whatever bicycle you took to the specific, well, charging / hookup port that you took it from, in whatever specific part of the municipal area. They can actually, for these ones, you can just lock them back up at anyone in the city. And I don't know, the thing is though, I don't know how many there are. I know there's one right over a ways in St. Martin, right beside, well, the west end of the downtown, just down this road. But, yeah, it's just that one I saw, and this one. I don't know where any others are stationed at. But, well, just thought I'd give it a try. Now you're probably asking, well, Cam, how are you going to film this if you're driving? Well, when I had my initial backpack with me, I figured, well, since I've been taking to putting my camera in the netted sleeves on the right and left sides of my backpack, so that I can just secretively record things and also just have it free of hand. Well, I figured I'd just do that. But obviously, my backpack got stolen, but now I have a new one that I purchased today at a certain mall complex that I'll talk about in a bit down that way. I'll pass by it, don't worry. And I also gathered footage from inside of it, so you'll see that. Don't worry. But, yeah, I figured that'd be the best way to do this. So, I'm gonna try and unlock one of these and just get going. And then I'll talk about what I talk about. I'll stop at certain intervals in different areas. Obviously, maybe to explore a bit on foot. Because I don't think... Oh, no, you have kickstands. Never mind. I was wondering how exactly I was supposed to park these, unless they just thought, okay, we'll just let you lean it on the side of the grass. I may stop in certain, well, I will, if I don't explore on foot, I will at least stop the bike and then get off and talk and address the camera. So, but until then, enough chit-chat for now. Let me see if this actually fucking goes smoothly. Just please go fucking smoothly. Well, this has easily been the most infuriating time I've had trying to ride a bicycle. So, what you have to do... Oh yeah, I'm in a different area, I'll explain why in a sec. For these fucking stupid ass things. So, you have to download the Bixie corporate app, which I did. You have to pay a fee for either a one-trip pass, $1.25, seasonal pass from now until November, whatever, 99 cents, or fucking monthly charge of what, I think it was $9, I don't know. I did the one-time pass, so did that. Signed in with an email, my phone number, gave them my card information, all that yada yada. Then I calculated, because apparently I read this wrong. It's not, I initially thought that this whole 15 cents for the regular standardized bike and 30 cents for the electric bikes, I thought that was 15 cents per 15 minute or 30 cents per 30 minute. No, it's 15 cents per minute or 30 cents per 1 minute. And yeah, that's done again to incentivize people to think, oh wow, what a cheap deal. Yeah, in accompanying with the $1.25 that I paid, yeah, that's, seeing as I calculated it, because I've decided I'm only going to ride this for 2 hours around the downtown area, and then put it back. And that'll cost me maybe $18. So, oh, and I also had to get in Wi-Fi in the area that I was in at a banking firm, which had free Wi-Fi. That, well, no, actually, they didn't have it because there was some complicated issue, but someplace by it had free Wi-Fi. So, got on that to download the app, let the app install. It took about maybe 12 to 13 minutes. Then did all that yada yada. Then agreed to the bullshit waivers, because apparently there's a $100 deposit for if these return in one piece and you don't scrape them up. I don't know how, considering there's nobody monitoring that, what if they have a digital monitoring system for that, and if they do, they're probably going to concoct some fucking bullshit lie to actually not give me the $100 back. So, maybe I'm being too negative with that, but you know what? Whatever. Fine, $100 deposit, great. And so, when I did all that bullcrap, I'm deleting the app, by the way, once this trip is done. I scanned the QR code. Told me that I had to turn on my location, so I did that. And my device, and which they gave me an option to do so, whether I wanted to do that or not. They said allow, deny. I hit deny because why not? I don't typically keep it on, so hit deny. And so basically, when I get into the app, though, they just push me into a corner and force me to turn it on. So pointless. Your request to ask me if I wanted it on or not was pointless. So anyway, did that, then scan the QR code on the bike here that's right at the base of the handle. And then I click on to unlock a bike in the area that I was in, on that road. that I was at. It says 0 bikes. Not able to unlock. And then for some reason it asked me to turn on my location. Even though my location was already fucking on. And I was like, what do you mean no bikes? There is 2 bikes here. Load of malarkey. I showed them on the video. There are 2 bikes here. Nope, there's no bikes here. So I look on the map. Where is the closest place that has bikes that are, by the definition of the locking monitoring system, whatever it is, by their definition, are here in place? Where is that? It's about maybe 3 or 4 blocks down a main boulevard close to you. Fine. So I walked the distance, walked past it because I thought it was actually at a different intersection, but no, it's here in this, well, as you can tell. I'm in a sea of condos and ultra-rich apartment complexes. So, of course it's here. Of course, all the ones that are available to use and working, are in working order, are here. So, that was a pain in the ass. I honestly think it would have been easier to obtain a bicycle, and cheaper, if I had literally just gone and tried asking somebody, hey, can I borrow your bike for 2 hours? Especially in the St. Martin district. I'll give it back. I honestly, genuinely, yes, with the sense of community that that area has, I guarantee you I could have found someone who would have actually loaned me a bike of some kind. Anyway, let's get on with this and see if I can actually get this going. Okay, yeah, fuck these things. I'm not doing that. So, end result. Tried doing it here. Tried unlocking a bike in the app. Didn't work. Tried going over to the terminal to see if there was any option for me to quite literally just pay for it with a card or coins. Just any amount. Just pay for it with the physical items that I have. Nope. So then I decided I want to see how far this goes. I'm going to call the actual customer service. I want to see, like, how far this problem will take me. So, I call their general number, which had an automated system, which I absolutely love. And for service in English, press 9. I pressed 9, and then it said press whatever number. I think it was 2 for, information on how to unlock our bicycles. So I pressed 2, or whatever that goddamn number was, to unlock the friggin' bike, to get instructions to unlock the bike. And you know what it did? It quite literally told me verbatim instructions on how to unlock the bike. It literally verbatim the same exact little manual it had. Bixie has for the terminal. Literally, it's word for word the same. First, download the app. Then, pay the fucking fee. Then, scan the QR code, and then turn on your location, and then go to our station, and then unlock the bike by hitting unlock bike. Thank you for the great information. That helped a lot, you stupid fucking automated AI voice system. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I'm very heated right now. That's just, oh my god. And then I tried the toll-free number, and it was the same fucking thing, and I was like, nope, I'm hanging up immediately. And then I called, oh no, I didn't, okay, I tried them, no, okay, hanging up was a bit sarcastic. I didn't hang up. I went through the process, but I canceled whatever option that I had clicked for, take me through the steps. And then I hit 0 to talk to, hopefully, it said immediate, if you need immediate assistance. I hit 0 to talk to a goddamn human being. And thankfully, I talked to a goddamn human being. And they were very monotone and very, very sounding emotionally devoid and very, 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 very dreary sounding. And they honestly were barely helpful, but they basically told me, okay, try going to the app. Are you at a station? Yes, I'm at a station. Okay, then click this. There should be maybe something to do at the terminal. There was nothing to do at the terminal in terms of payments, which I already fucking knew. And then go back into the app. You should be able to unlock it if your location's on. Well, my location is on, but I'm not able to unlock it. And they're like, wow, that's weird. And I was like, yeah, it is. And they're like, you want to try it again? And I was like, sure, why not? So I tried it again. And then I was like, yeah, it didn't work again. And they're like, wow, that's really weird, huh? And I was like, it is. It's really fucking weird. Old buddy, old pal. Jesus, God diggity, fuck, damn. Oh my God. And then they just said, you know what? I'm going to refund. I can see here in the app that you paid $1.25 for the one trip ride. I'm going to refund that for you. I'm going to send it back to your card. And I was like, thank you. That's nice. Thank you. I didn't even ask them to do that. I wasn't going to ask them to do that. They literally just offered, okay, that's nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then they were like, sorry for the inconvenience. I hope you can have better luck next time using the app. It's a great app. They just needed to remind me of that because it had demonstrated very clearly how great it was through the whole process of just needing to even fucking get it in the first place to unlock a goddamn bike. And then I was like, okay, yes, thank you. I hope you have a good night. And they're like, thank you, I hope you do as well. Good night. And here we are. I kind of forgot where I was walking to after all that. Okay, now here's the actual video. So I think I'm gonna lower my voice a bit before I get a noise complaint reported on me by any of the local inhabitants of this area. So we are in downtown Laval. As you can tell, it's a mega rich corporate paradise. So, where we just walk through this little community is just, well, full of mini condos and high-end apartment complexes. That's it. As I think you could tell well enough. So, oh look, what do you know? There's where I was. There's where the other bike station is, where apparently the two bikes that are there, last I Well, last I was actually at that spot, well, apparently they're just non-existent. They're a figment of my imagination. So, going down that way will take me, like, to the direct center of the downtown area. But first, I'm gonna spend some time going through here. Huh. Actually, you know what? Interesting. Okay. I was maybe going to try this in a different area of the city that had, well, some amount of high-rise buildings. Well, you know what? Fuck it. At some point, let's do it tonight. If there's a way to actually get into, well, maybe the lobby of any of these ultra-elitist apartment complexes, well, I might try actually going up on top of them. Like, trying to get to the highest level I can. Just look down onto the streets. Why not? Wait, riding the bike, honestly, I didn't really plan for anything else. I'm gonna talk about things, yes. But in terms of what I do for footage, not riding the bike, well, I'm just gonna roam the street. I didn't have any other plan other than trying to ride the bike. So, yeah, what else am I gonna do? Okay. So, I guess I should start with what I know about the downtown area of Laval. So, when I first got here, and that couple, very nice couple, dropped me off in the parking garage of the said very large mall complex that I will talk about. Well, I took notice of the fact that in the downtown area, it seemed like there was a lot of what appeared to be, what I thought at first were the corporate head offices of various private banks. But actually, they weren't the head offices, but they are, apparently, from what I looked up, some amount of a provincial executive branch. Ones here, or at least those ones are here in Laval, and there's also some in Montreal, because, well, Montreal, actually, apparently, I think Montreal and Laval kind of are tied for being considered the business capitals of Quebec. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe Montreal has... Oh, nearly fell on my face. Maybe Montreal is a bit more, well, economic activity in terms of, well, corporate meandering, but they could be tied, possibly, in terms of just amount of activity, not buildings, obviously. So, apparently, those are executive branches of, well, various very large private banking companies, which I probably am going to go into tomorrow, considering I'm definitely going to make it a priority of mine tomorrow to go into that RBC executive bank branch to specifically ask about some names from the taxation documents I found in House 265 in St. Rose. So yeah. But, so, along with that, there's, like I said, the mall complex, which is apparently the largest shopping center, I believe, in the GMA, in all of Greater Montreal area. That's what it's known for being. And it's owned by a corporation, called Cadillac Fairview. Now, to most of you, that name probably doesn't have any significance. And before me arriving here, it had no real significance to me. But apparently, they're a Canadian company, but they own mass amounts of shopping centers all throughout Canada and America. Various amounts of shopping centers. They control the real estate of them, the actual land property. They control the development most often in terms of, well, hiring their own apparently, I think they have a contracting company, according to what I found. So they control the development. They take a mass amount of profit from any stores that open up and mega corporate branches that open up within their facilities. And whoever the organizers or administrators of whatever specific mall houses these various establishments, well, they're obviously overshadowing them in terms of corporate ownership. Maybe not in terms of individual policy, for the most part, but ownership just in general of, well, share of the profit. And interestingly enough, now it might seem like, okay, I know where you're going with this, Cam. It's a parent corporation that's a mega conglomerate. The atrocities of capitalism and commercialism, yada yada yada. We know your spiel about this. Well, it might interest you to know, actually, according to my research, that apparently they have a parent organization themselves. Like, an organization, and not a company, an organization that is, well, according to what I found, not even a partner of theirs, is their overseer. It's their head. And that is Ontario Teachers Pension Plan Organization. And when I read that, I thought, what? Are you actually for real? And how? Because, well, obviously, I'd known what the it's a branch of the Ontario provincial government. It's a municipal. Oh God, I keep thinking of Laval, trying to say municipal. It's a provincially headed governmental branch, the organization, but it's listed as independent when I further look up. So I'd already known about what they were, but well, it just struck me. It was surprising because, okay, I'm used to obviously seeing various sectors of government organized and funded by various capitalist conglomerates in the world. I'm used to that. I'm used to seeing that. I'm not particularly used to seeing it the other way around. Because, so, let me get this clear. So, the organization, this so-called independent organization, branch of the provincial Ontario government, so not independent, and founded by them, which is specifically designed for the purpose of redistributing, well, pension pay, and actually creating and regulating so-called plan. Regulating, God, that's fucking terrifying. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. That is... No. Also, that's somewhat racist, as far as I'm concerned. Like, that harkens back to fucking minstrel shows. Anyway... Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the whole purpose of this organization is to regulate and redistribute pay for a pension based upon, well, from what I looked up, something that's called it's disposable benefit, I believe it's called. Basically, and what that means, though, even if I'm not getting the name exactly right, it means you get benefits in terms, well, pay in this regard, after having worked at a certain, say, company or just economic entity or organization, whatever kind, for a certain period of time. And it also can be determined based upon your age at the time of leaving or even starting employment at whatever entity economically. So basically, this made no sense to me. It still makes no sense to me. This governmental branch for the Ontario provincial government is the parent company. It's not a company, it's the parent runner of this mega corporate conglomerate called Cadillac Fairview that owns up a variety of owns up a variety of shopping malls, just shopping mall complexes all over the upper part of North America. That's strange. Now, seeing as I've been thinking about this, I can concoct maybe a couple theories as to why. If the information that I'm looking up is correct, which it seems to be for the most part, well, from reliable enough sources that really would have no, well, okay, reliable as they can be. But it's listed everywhere, at least when in relation to who is the parent owner of Cadillac Fairview, being Ontario Teachers Pension Plan Organization. This independent, not an independent organization. And that leads me to think two things, at least right now, at least what I'm concocting mentally. Either that's just a lie, and like just a bona fide lie, and Cadillac Fairview is basically the corporate owner of, well, or corporate funder, lobbyists of this branch of governmental organization for Ontario to actually keep, well, funneling some amount of money and, well, keeping their interests in line with the running of, well, the distribution of a pension to teachers across the province who retire. Basically, just making it so that, you know what, actually, let me gather my thoughts. Okay, I just walked back to the center of this area that I'm in right now, and I guess a bit more of a clear headspace. So, what I was saying was, in relation to Cadillac Fairview, my theories are either their parent societal entity, being Ontario Pension Plan for Teachers, is a total lie, and it's the reverse, where Cadillac Fairview is actually their funder, their societal head, their discrete policy maker, who lobbies for funding for that branch of government, that organization within it, for the province. And, well, they do so to incentivize, in whatever policies they make, to incentivize those in the field of pedagogy, academia, to just, well, keep believing in the educational system if they're given good enough pay at the end of it, or throughout, to some degree, that'll keep them in a so-called financially stable position. So it's either that possibility, or, which is a bit more of an interesting one, at least from what I'm thinking now. I don't know how much. I wouldn't say it's maybe not more plausible, but it's equally as possible that it is headed by that provincial organization, and that organization, that sector of the provincial government of Ontario, Canada, uses whoever the administrators are for the organization, who, if going by what my research is telling me, that their organization is the parent entity of Cadillac Fairview Corporation, then they use a certain amount of profit generated from this mega corporate shopping mall owning conglomerate that has executive rights and complete and total economic control over hundreds, maybe even thousands of shopping complexes across the country and throughout the continent. When it said that Cadillac Fairview owns and operates numerous mega shopping mall centers all across Canada and the United States, so the northern half of North America, minus Greenland, and I don't think the American state of Alaska, they have any ownership there, but continental USA and Canada, they own hundreds of locations. So if that were to be the case, that Ontario Pension for Pedagogy is the parent entity for Cadillac Fairview, it would only make sense that they're funneling the mass amount of corporate profit that the company makes for their governmental purposes. Which, okay, bit of an interesting switcheroo in capitalist society. You don't really see that too often if that were to be the case. But what I'm struggling to figure out is why? From what I know, in terms of ultra-capitalist campaign lobbyists, well, most often lobbies are done and funding is shoveled, a portion of their profit, towards governmental branches and, well, entities, or members of, well, their aristocratic families that take mass profit from their corporate conglomerates, or they themselves, people within the company themselves, run as politicians or get into the actual governmental system and put laws in place that benefit just solely their corporate interests, that will allow wiggle room for them to actually make paradeals, buy up land, privatize property, increase exchange of stocks, say on the stock market, allow for various just things, or maybe for them, for whatever products they're making, allow them to use a certain material discreetly that would typically maybe because of public interest, be said to be that, while legally the government isn't going to allow this to be used, says that they're not going to allow it to be used. Whatever it is, usually it's the corporate executives and business higher-ups or bankers that are the ones funding world governments. And sociologists have known this, as far as I'm concerned, for centuries now, within the rise of ultra-capitalism and governmental system of republicanism and, well, parliamentarianism, for the most part. They've known this, or monarchy. Many, as far as I'm concerned, competent sociologists have known this for a long time. It's interesting, though, the only thing I could think of is that, if that's true, for the second option, that this branch of the Ontario government basically uses this mega corporate entity as a shell company, pretty fucking big shell company, to, I don't know, fund their provincial budget. Maybe they're funneling money through this, well, so-called independent... Oh my god, did not realize you were only tied up by that. Fucking bungee cord. Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to lean there. Well, I did, but I shouldn't have. Okay. Either they're using this so-called independent organization, which it's not an independent organization. That's not fooling me for a fucking instant. They use whatever profit is generated from the company that's funneled towards this organization, branch of government, and then somehow the money is lost along the way and it's transferred further, maybe into an offshore bank account of some kind for various, well, political members of, well, the government, maybe, say, provincial Ministry of Finance, Financial Ministry, dealing with, or the sector of government that mainly deals with, obviously, Ministry of Finance would absolutely be this. The sector of government dealing with the provincial budget, well, they obtain it and use whatever profit is generated from it to fund the budget. Or, this is a different option, part of the second one I'm throwing out here, the second theory, that members, people who have gotten into, or high-end elites who have gotten into the political ring in terms of labeled politicians to society, specifically Canadian society, have no, actually, okay, hold on, that doesn't really even make much sense. Okay, I guess this is a really convoluted way of doing this. as far as I'm concerned, the entirety of capitalism's existence and blatant fascism, because as far as I'm concerned, capitalism is a branch of fascism. Anyway, convoluted and against human nature, but this, in terms of how this problematic system operates, this is an even more convoluted way of doing this, I guess. Well, psychological trauma and disruption to cognitive thought process from indoctrination and societal people can be very, very stupid, and many times are, in terms of critical thought. So, yeah, I'm sure this is possible. It's very odd, but I'm thinking it could also be that however many decades ago, whenever this branch of, well, I guess would be, well, Ministry of Education, considering it's dealing with pension for pedagogy, teaching, so the educational system, systemically. So, however many decades ago, whenever this branch of the educational ministry has been around, in terms of the provincial government, however long this organization has existed, some folks were able to get their way into becoming politicians and, while being administrators for, well, the educational program, and thought, hey, I want to also generate mass finance for myself to satisfy my very clear hedonistic values, philosophically, and my, well, varied array of psychological disorders that are disrupting my sense of ethics. So we're gonna get the needed amenities together, make investments here and there, and privatize land, do deals with banks, take out certain loans here, pour this amount of our current finances into doing this little project on the side, and we want to make mass cash flow. We want to profiteer off of a monopolistic economic system. So, along with being in the provincial government, heading laws for the general populace of society and supposedly for said business sector, well, we're going to do all this, and we're going to try and grow this corporate conglomerate to funnel money towards us within the governmental sector of society. And that, I guess, could have worked, and they became mass corporate, and we're specifically going to specialize in owning up property and the building units, and we're going to fund and control the development and construction of said facilities for shopping mall plazas and complexes. We're specifically going to specialize in that. I guess they achieved that, and they grew to the size of being a massive mega corporation, and we're just like, hey, we got a good thing going here. Keep doing it more and more. Keep expansionizing and keep keep privatizing, keep building more and more and more facilities, keep bringing in some amount of other mega corporate retailers into said facilities, and maybe some moderate businesses here and there, and maybe 1 or 2 or 3 small businesses if they want some room, whatever, to just drum up maybe some different demographics coming in, to funnel more profit towards these companies and the bigger ones, and then funneling it towards the organizers that will put in place for said malls, individual malls, which will then funnel profit straight back to us, and then straight back to our governmental organization. Because clearly, as far as I'm concerned, that profit does not go to the Ontario educational system, nor to a majority, in terms of a beneficial stance, at least, the teachers, or at least their, to some degree, from what I know of, their pension. It doesn't. In terms of a livable wage, it's just an incentive. If that's the case, convoluted. Very, very convoluted, and very, very weird. A very weird way to do that. If you were, okay, you're a member of an elitist faction in a sociological environment of a demographic of people, in terms of, well, let's go with financial class for this one, because that's clearly what it deals with. Or, okay, just our political realms, in terms of being the lawmakers and legislative executives for a society. Okay, fine. Well, clearly, if the second option is true, somehow you already had the ability to start your own mega corporation, or start your own corporation, and clearly were able to gain and manipulate your way to, as far as I'm concerned, highly unethically gaining mass amounts of land and continuing expansionism, and buying up more and more and creating more facilities with mass amounts of, well, other mega corporations clearly doing paradeals with them, obviously, to generate funding back to you, fueling profit. Why did you need to even enter the governmental sector? You could have just been mass corporate business executives. Why would you funnel? And again, if it's the first option to, or no, well, no, this is part of the second option that I was offering up, but I'm just thinking of another reason why this could be. If it was the option that this sector of the Ontario government, quite literally, and as far as I'm concerned, in terms of the provincial budget, the entirety of the Ontario provincial government, has created this mega corporate conglomerate just to funnel and profiteer off of it, and basically use it as a perfectly legal money laundering scheme, just to funnel funding for the provincial government through a mega corporation that they've managed to spread throughout a good chunk of the North American continent. If that's the case, why are you even politicians? Why wouldn't you just be typical lobbyists? Why wouldn't you just fund the government? You clearly had the ability to start your own mega business enterprise. Why would you not? Oh my God. The illogical idiocy here, if that option is true, not only infuriates me, but that just is something I can't. Sorry, I had to drive there for a second to calm down. I can't, my cognition can't take it right now. Okay. I don't know what that, when I found that out, that, I don't know. But you know what? Moving on from that interesting work of corruption, to another work of corruption, conveniently where I am standing right now. So, in keeping in line with economic entities that, well, fuck over everything, welcome to Centropolis. So what is Centropolis? Well, to put it simply, Centropolis is pretty well just this entire area of downtown Laval. From here, expanding over there to those apartment complexes, I think to the hotel as well, and down a ways all the way to, oh, what do you know, mega corporate movie theater, ranch, Cineplex, and I think a museum over there. Yeah. That's this whole area. But what does that signify? Well, from what I've researched, oh, well, literally, here's a map. Here's a map of it, of what is considered Centropolis. But as far as I'm concerned, from, again, what I've researched, those living in the surrounding community have mass affiliation to it. So this is the entirety of the Centropolis area. And basically, it's, well, to put it bluntly, they worded it differently on fucking Google and every other informational site that I looked up or went on to for research of it. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Anyway. It's a mega corporate land development company. It's a contractor. They're a contracting agency and development company. That has built up this entire area. Not just, as far as I'm concerned, again, residents living where they are, not just this area here, because there's literal signage extending out very clearly of this portion that they're displaying here. For, well, advertising condo developments going up soon at some point, or developments going to begin on them, and apartments, because, well, the ever-growing, I guess, relatively young, modernized central area of Laval, well, they're, at the very least, funded, or in sponsorship of Centropolis development. Basically, they have purchased up a large number of plots of property and streets, because they own the roads, I'm pretty sure, for this whole, at least this sector here. They own the roads. They purchased up so much property and have slammed their building units onto them, and obviously have leased them out to various either small business or, well, no, they're not. Let me put this frankly. Sorry, wrong wording. Over there, in that direction, maybe for the plazas that are down there, to small businesses. As, unlike Gatineau, Quebec, there are a number of seemingly smaller business chains in the downtown area at portions of, well, Laval, but not here. And if there are, so clearly many of these are either moderate or mega corporations that are just not expansionist. And if there are some amount of small businesses that are within very close proximity to the main Centropolis area, well, then they probably most likely cater to elites. And interestingly enough, again, as I did with Cadillac Fairview in my research, I found out because this isn't, Centropolis is not, well, it's not a big boy. It's not out on its own and independent, so-called. It's paying rent to their parents because they're living in their basement still. That was an interesting analogy I decided to go with. No, they have a parent company. And that parent company being Conair, I believe is how you pronounce it. Or Conair? Conair. No, Conair. Conair. Yep, Conair is how you pronounce it. Conair. And they are a ginormous real estate agency company. They own, apparently, some of the largest amount of real estate in all of Canada. They're one of Canada's biggest, well, real estate owners. Selling off mega expensive apartment buildings, high-end, very, 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 very wide-acred ranches, mansions, billion-dollar mansions in Toronto, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Halifax, Montreal, all over the damn place. And, well, that's, well, what I have to say about them there. Yeah, they're an authoritarian conglomerate. I don't know. I kind of wasted all my ranting energy on Cadillac Fairview. But I'm going to go around this area now, because I've been standing here a while, and just showcase, well, not only elitist housing units, but very much how these guys' grip extends far beyond their little map here. And wow, I have to say, this is like one of the most dystopian looking art pieces I've ever seen, considering the topic that I'm talking about. Yeah, this looks like, yeah, that's very ominous. That does not look near as friendly, especially in the dark or at night, as I think their corporate CEO and fellow executives think it does. And also, just gotta say, Centropolis, the name, you can't sound more capitalist. I mean it. You can't sound more like futurist, objectivist, false progressive idea of techno-progressivism into so-called futurism, which is not true in the slightest. You can't sound more like that without having a name like fucking Centropolis. Jesus Christ. Oh, and in regards to me going around and showing their grip on things economically, their reach, well, pay attention to the O right there in their, if I can show it, the O in their name. Because from what I've been noticing on certain buildings, at least if I'm recalling correctly from when I have passed through here, and when I was actually standing over there, even by those apartments, that O seems to be appearing a lot as just a staple on certain things. Just a marking, pretty well. So, yeah. My phone's dying again, so I'm gonna have to charge it. So let me do that. But at least the one thing I can say looks at least somewhat appealing about this, well, area. Well, the water piece is nice. This pond, this man-made coin pond, I guess. Do you actually disperse? No, you don't. I'm so tempted to just walk across that, but I'm not gonna. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a long night. Alright, so moved out a ways from what Centropolis claims to be their only area of control. Oh, okay. They really like labeling what they claim to be their only areas of control, but in terms of my goal of just venturing atop the taller buildings of the city, well, guess I'll start with these 3 apartment complexes. Viva. Alright. Worth a shot. Okay, never mind. That didn't work. Apparently, for this building at least, you need a key card to so much as enter the front door. And I'm assuming that's probably gonna be what it's like for, yeah, it is. I can already see it. It's gonna be what it's like for all of these. Oh, and it's not just 3 buildings, it's 6. Soon to be 7. But, well, as you can see, very pristine, very lavish as usual. Easily, it has one of the most well-kept gardens I've seen, and a fucking mini-putt golf course. Are you kidding me? They literally have a mini-putt. They literally have a mini-putt golf course in their center communal garden. That's literally just off one of the downtown side roads. Lord alive. Okay, so yeah, this is the condo development company. Condovia, okay. Samum, or Samum, however you pronounce it. Yeah, that's just, I guess, a digital rendering of what it's supposed to hopefully look like once it's done, if it goes to your liking. And okay, I don't have anything right now to connect them to the Centropolis, but I don't doubt that they own up this plot of property as well. Once I get down back over there, I'll be able to showcase it better. But, well, yeah, I guess, well, that's what I'll be able to do once I'm able to do that. Well, you can get a bit of a view of the executive bank branches from here. Here's an interesting thing. Over there is a museum called the Cosmodome, which I believe is just a astronomy museum showcasing various historical items commemorating Canadian history in terms of space exploration. But I'll find out soon enough. In terms of picking a building to get on top of, no, I don't think you look like just a general office building, so I don't think you. Oh. It's clear that many of these places have rooftop terraces. I don't know if you guys specifically do, but there must be a way for, at the very least, me to access that if I'm able to get in. But okay, I noticed this last time. Fucking the executive National Bank's executive branch. Your light, your luminescent sign is malfunctioning. That hasn't been fixed at all yet, and it's still there, and I'm happy about that, because they either haven't noticed or they don't care enough to fix it. Okay. Yeah, I have nothing more to say for this area. Let me keep moving. Alright, so I decided to actually stay in that, area a bit longer than I said. I ended up being able to actually access one of the buildings, at least just the front door entrance, and so I decided to sit in there and charge my phone and my portable charger, and also have a bit of a snooze. As you know, it's the very early morning and I was getting tired. But now I've moved on. I've actually gotten moving on. And yeah, it's cold out in the early morning. Who would have guessed? But now I'm standing outside the Cosmodome. And, well, I'm not seeing any any signage that directly links the land of this area to that of Centropolis's, but I don't doubt that at least some portion of it is owned up by them, and they have para-deals with, well, Sorrento or whatever that organization, the company that is aiding in, I guess, some amount of renovations for the place, and just, well, the municipal organization that runs it for Laval itself. And interestingly, they have, again, as I said about the symbols with the O's, similar symbol to that of Centropolis. Again, will be a reoccurring theme to some degree. So along this way, it should take me to a set of what's the word? I'm trying to think of the name of the shape for these apartment buildings. Well, they're elongated apartment complexes that are towards the main business center of the city, if I head down this way. So, there we go. There you are, you sons of bitches. Cosmopolis? Okay, fuck off. Yeah, Cosmopolis, my ass. Yeah, this is Centropolis. They just... Okay, whatever partner company or baby corporation or whatever the hell else it, terminology-wise it's referred to in economics. Okay, whatever real estate or just living unit company owns up this building, yeah, fuck off. They absolutely have connections to Centropolis. You don't name it either that or they clearly just named it that. Named their, well, real estate / or development company that just, well, to drum up advertisement in terms of showcasing that they're in the Centropolis area or that they're somehow affiliated to the great Centropolis. Well, alright. Anyway, down here should take me to those, and there is where I will try to get on top again of, well, those buildings. I'll try to get on top of them. Now you're probably asking, Cam, do you possibly know what the tallest building in Laval may be? I'm not actually entirely sure. They might, judging from what I've seen, just from, well, my own, from the ground view, and from a bit from looking on Google Maps of the digital aerial view, the tallest buildings in Laval, well, big shocker, are obviously condos or apartments, but they might be actually in the Chamonix neighborhood of the St. Martin district. Oh, hello. Like right at the river's edge of, well, the rivers des Prairies. Like right at their edge. Because when I was down there and I passed by said buildings, they were, well, there was 2 sets of them in one area, and they were exceedingly tall, looked to be taller than any other building structures I've seen in the city so far. And interestingly enough, in that area, maybe I'll showcase it once I get back down there, that area seems to be actually, well, development-wise, it has a lot more, well, incorporations of pseudo-segregation, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, you again. Yeah, hello. it has more elements of pseudo-segregation than any other part of the city that I've seen so far. As I've talked about, that development companies, they just don't seem to care here. Which I'll talk about more actually in a bit, because it still, to some degree, perplexes me. Okay, here's some rather large buildings. Iris. I have no clue, absolutely no clue what, well, business you operate. But if I try and enter you, I may soon find out. Yep, and there's also the apartment buildings that I was talking about. Actually, from looking at it here, once that, just again from a ground view looking at it, once that center apartment, placed directly in the middle of those 6 in that area, once it's finished construction, it looks like it might maybe give the ones in Chamonix a run for their money, so that one might end up being the tallest building in the city. Not sure. And mega corporate hotel branches. There are a number of them down here, and also going into the, well, once you start entering the industrial area of the city, there'll be, well, ones like, well, Sheridan, Best Western, Holiday Inn, Days Inn, a whole bunch of other ones that I don't fully know about. Yes, okay. So here, quickly talk about this. This is, well, I already talked in length about it, but this is the mall complex owned by Cadillac Fairview, and it's called Le Carrefour. Le Carrefour? Le Carrefour. Carrefour, I believe is how you pronounce it. And yeah, it is quite large. And, well, it's a place full of consumerist and materialist addiction, as far as I'm concerned. There are nice enough stores in it, but it reeks of business exploitation. Are you open? No, you're not. Okay. About this end, highly doubt it. Yeah, no, you're not. Okay. Oh, wait. No, fuck, it's you. Okay. How did I not... This was the... When I initially gained that throat infection a few weeks ago, this is where I actually went to thinking that this was a public hospital in the center of the downtown area, but it's not. There's just a private clinic that's within this office building. Okay, so you're an office building. I don't know if that's just the name of, well, the owners of the office complex that just rent out various levels of it for different businesses, or if you're just the most prioritized business establishment that's actually in the complex, enough to get your logo printed on the top stone exterior. But one way or another, I'm going to try and go up you and get some footage from above. Okay. Let's hope this actually works this time. Okay. So that didn't work either. The building is closed. It's locked up for now. Okay. Well, maybe third time will be the charm. So, where I am right now is the business center. Very much a variety of private corporations housed within these different office buildings, but as well as I said earlier in the video, executive bank branches for the province. So, now I don't know what exactly they're, well, for being executive branches. I don't know what their executive purposes are. I don't know what their positions hold in terms of the private bank companies. I have absolutely no clue. But wherever RBC's branch is, and I know that there's one here somewhere. You shared in the building with National Bank? It might be. I know it's in this area somewhere, and oh, okay, never mind, there you are. Here then. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, closed up for now. I'm coming back to you later in the day for a bit of questioning. Hopefully with some amount of answers. And hopefully with said questions not getting the police called on me. Hopefully not. Okay. So here's... I guess technically they are a connected plaza. So there are some amount of small businesses that are opened up in this portion of the downtown here. And then, well, one of them seems to obviously is connected to this, to the main section of National Bank here. They seem to cater to aristocratic financial backers, and specifically bankers. But for now, I will focus on this place. These are the apartments that I was talking about. God, the streets are dead this early. And let's see who owns up their property. Selection retreat. believe that's how you pronounce that. Selection Retreat. Mansons de Ville Disponibles. Okay, again, no complete connection in terms of, well, no written literary acknowledgement of connection to Centropolis. But again, I'm fairly certain that all these properties going along here are well, on their land space that they purchased. And I know I'm not giving great examples right now, but trust me, I will get to portions of the area that do have, I know they have signs displaying outright that, well, Centropolis Development owns the actual property. So don't worry, I will get to that. Right now I just want to see if I can find any others that I haven't seen. As I'm going along here. Could I? No. Okay. Worth a shot. Alright, that appears to be the foyer. Stationman, yep, okay, parking. Okay. You know what? Screw you, building. I'm going for your siblings over here. That sounded a lot better in my head. Not saying it out loud. I'm going to try and get to the top of one of you because you're measly compared to them. Puny. Okay, so this row that I'm on right now was the one that I had come out of, or I'd come onto, out of that condo-filled and mini-condo-filled neighborhood with the bikes earlier in the night. And as you can see, well, rather lavish, highly expensive housing units, well-kept lawns and gardens as usual, and again, interestingly, very small amount, or barely, none at all. I'm just gonna say none at all. No amount of attempted pseudo-segregation. Come to think of it, I could have just turned around and gone back here to try and go through these buildings. I could have, well, once I decide, whatever. Well, I looped back around now, so that's that. I'm not gonna do more about it than that. Okay, whatever. Alright, well, okay, from here I can definitely tell there is clearly balconies extending up on the rooftop. Click, click, click. Down through the chimney, I'll throw St. Nick. I don't know why I decided to try and rhyme there. It's not even Christmas. So, okay, well, anyway. It's clear that you can actually access the roof because there's terraces up there, balconies as well to look out onto. So, how does one do that is the question. I guess I'll find out. Okay. Lovely. I can definitely say it's fitting for the atmosphere. Okay. Enough chit chat. Let me see if I can actually get up without any issues this time. Nope, that didn't work again. So, just the front entranceway here is accessible to the public, but this second wave of doors is locked. Okay. I'm just going up to see them.
No, they don't want people in that don't live here. I don't know. It's early. I don't know. You want to ring? Ring.
Ring?
Ring the bell. Send that. Where are you going?
Oh, I was just going to the top floor.
Call the person you want to see.
Okay. Well, that was a rather interestingly unpleasant interaction. So, the person who just walked, well, out and then greeted me, and told me, well, just to ring up to someone. Well, I thought there was a way to possibly just ring into some reception to see if you can actually walk in. Apparently not. So, yeah, these are probably all a no-go as well. Considering it looked like only that one and maybe these ones as well have balconies accessible on the roof. And then, well, the person proceeded to walk back in. I guess they were just waiting outside for whatever reason, because I'm sure they feel entitled enough to be the security guard of, well, the building. Which, that's sarcasm. They clearly are not, and I wouldn't have cared one way or another if they were. They came back in like, okay, well, what are you doing here? Or, do you not know where you're going? And I just said, well, I'm just trying to get to the top floor. Not visiting anyone. Just wanted to get a view from the actual top floor. They're like, well, you can't just come into a person's building and just hang around. And, like, people steal stuff here all the time. And I was like, oh, really? People steal stuff here all the time. That's interesting. Can those people access the building? I didn't ask them that. That's what I wanted to ask them. But then they're just like seriously, get the fuck out, man. And, well, clearly an amount of hostility, and was overly paranoid and domineering. So, have a nice day, douchebag. So. Alright. Interestingly enough, I swing back around here, back around here on Chomedy Boulevard, and head up the road again. No, actually. I was thinking maybe there was possibly, well, given the time, it's 5:22 a.m. Maybe now the banks would be open or opening up and there might be staff in there. But you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I'll come back to the central area later in the day. For now, I think I'm going to head towards the southern half of the downtown area. And then maybe over to, apparently, what's the main college or main post-secondary school of Laval, called Montmorency College, I believe it is. I'll have to look on the maps again. But, yeah, I'm going to head down that way instead. Okay. Now looking at it in the daylight, somewhat, this portion of this actual community could count to some degree, I guess, as pseudo-segregation. To some amount. Because, well, in the development of this, I know this half-assed roundabout is pointless. They could have just made the street going directly through. So, maybe it could count as it, but, well, still very little measures overall. Okay, alright, here it is. So, I'm down a ways along the road, and yeah, this is one of Centropolis's, well, development sites. And as you can see, they're building in, well, another bloody structure. So, ouverture de rue de l'Éducation, Octobre 2023, Mostra Centropolis.ca. Aries Communes. Multiples. Commodities. Okay, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that means more, yep, fucking condos. So, alright. Yes, okay, there we go. There's their parent company, the Mega Real Estate Corporation Communar. As well as, I guess, parent companies. There's Divaco and Kogir. I know nothing about them. So, in this regard, even this is a bit off a ways from... Wait, is it? No, wait a minute. Okay, it's not terribly off a ways, but it's pushing it in terms of where its initial mapped out borders are for the Centropolis Center. But obviously they purchased up this entire, oh, okay, hold on. Divico. Okay. Maybe you're just a general excavation construction company that they hired out. Or, well, that they have clearly a pair deal with. Well, either way. So, yeah, okay. Oh no, yeah, it's not terribly far off. Okay, yeah, my measurements were way, way wrong. Okay, yeah, not terribly far off from the initial property of the Centropolis Center, but, well, it's not directly where it was mapped out. At least here, most likely what's going to happen is they're just going to... Well, actually, again, this is condo developments. This entire plaza here... Okay, actually that is interesting. This entire plaza here is not condos, obviously. There's no living spaces, at least to my knowledge, unless some people have rooms in the upper, well, floors of some of the restaurants here to stay, which I highly doubt. Well, these aren't condos. So maybe, even though, yes, they are the development organization for it, they might not list themselves as so once it's done. Maybe they'll let, well, Divico take the credit for that. But clearly they're the main runners for the development of it. And unless maybe they'll update their map saying that this is now an add-on addition to the Centropolis, the main Centropolis Center, the one that's listed. But again, over here, this very clearly has a residence, at least, who are affiliated to businesses here in Centropolis, at least from what I've observed. Given the traffic that, when I've been through here, goes out from these buildings into this area and then vice versa. But I'll go down just to the eastern end of St. Martin, just to show you that they are absolutely expanding their developments, because there is a sign for a plot of land that I slept on during my first week here that, well, is advertising for, again, condo developments. Oh, and while I'm here, this is why I'm glad I decided to actually, I'm glad that I made the choice to walk down this way. I want to show you the stupidest fucking thing in existence. So, traffic lights. In much of the Western world, where they're utilized to a larger degree than certain countries, well, they're used for regulation of traffic, which I'm not for. I've actually begun disobeying a lot of the traffic laws in terms of pedestrian walking. More recently, not running willy-nilly across the road, no. But while crossing when it's just an opportune time, or not even always at crosswalks, just jaywalking, as I don't believe in systematic regulation of these things. Oh? Oh no, you're pointing that way. Yeah, so that road is owned up by them. Anyway, so, but regardless, all of us in Canada know them. Traffic lights, to some degree or another. And what is a common feature of them in the modern day is this. A button. A signaling button that, well, activates whatever electric mechanisms that are inside it to turn the crossing indicator in favor of the pedestrian walker. Now, I've used these countless of times, and I've actually stopped using them, as I've said. And for a while, I didn't give it much thought as to how this could be considered a very much a waste of materials and resources to create these, which now I absolutely agree with. Yes, they are. We don't need them. But even so, just in this form here, this simple form, a button that you press that sends a signal to indicate, well, to activate the indicators, the digital indicators. This is just on the premise of what it's supposed to do, as far as I'm concerned, a good design. It's a simple, effective design. All you have to do is exactly as the sign tells you. Or just even from basic logical deduction. You take your finger, or whatever finger, I'll use my thumb, and you go like that, so that it can activate. Or you could use the palm of your hand. Okay, simple. And then you walk, if you're following the indicator. Simple enough, right? Just basic design and a basic concept that needs no alteration in what it's supposed to do. Right? Right? Correct? Anyone with competent reasoning, I would say, could agree with me on that? Then what the fucking hell is this? Oh, you're ticking. I have no clue why. Maybe just to indicate those who are more visually impaired? Fine enough. But I'm just gonna say this. What the absolute fucking hell is this? So, I ran into this little contraption when I was making my way down towards the Iris building in hopes of finding a public hospital when I had the throat infection, when I was walking with Cardi B, pulling them along with me. And I wanted to use the indicator to get across the street. This is before I changed my ideals on that. And I thought, well, the first thing I saw when I saw this was, what is this? And then I thought, oh, okay. So, it just seems like, okay, you, I guess, could maybe hit the button. The red portion, right? No, that doesn't work. Okay. Oh, so it's telling you to use, like, your hand to do this, right? Just go like that. Oh, okay, you actually did work that time. Okay. So you did work. When I went sideways. Okay. Point being here, though. I took so long the first time I was here. At least 7 minutes to figure out actually how to use this. Because I remember I had actually done it in a way where I used my full hand. But it still didn't work. I don't know why it worked that time. I even tried. Okay, maybe if I go like that. Oh, okay, you did work. Interestingly enough. Okay, so you are able to actually pick up, well, the sensation if I actually push it in. But I also thought, okay, given the design and the hand maybe could be waving, that maybe it's one of the motion sensory ones. And I tried that. No, it didn't work. So what I ended up doing was literally cupping my hand and, well, if it'll ever stop blinking. Let's give it a minute. Okay. It's still ticking away. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I've hit it so many times. I ended up cupping my hand and going, which I think is how you're supposed to do it. Well, actually, that is clearly given the hand indication, which, by the way, no need for this sign. There's no need. That's not how it operates. That's what I did, and according to this, that's how you're supposed to do it. Push your hand in like that. And when I found that out at first, clearly there are other ways to do it with your fist, maybe on the side with your hand, sure, fine. But when I found out, when I thought it was just this, and even now knowing this, but let's talk about when I first found out, I was once again internally livid. This is one of the most, and this might seem like a minor thing compared to the rest of this. No, I want to highlight this. This is one of the most fucking stupid things, stupid designs I've ever seen in my life. This is one of the most absurdly contrived and pointless designs for a device that I've ever seen and used. It's, first off, it looks atrocious as far as I'm concerned. I feel like I'm fucking grabbing RoboCop's vibrator, or what is it in the Inspector Gadget cartoon, Dr. Claw's, his phone. I feel like they just mounted Dr. Claw's phone to a traffic light. But okay, as far as I'm concerned, with my whole philosophies, looks come second, obviously, in terms of usage of things. In terms of physical objects, looks are not near at all as important as usage. Okay, so, to signal to the indicator. Why? Clearly, why did you make it like this? Because clearly, even though you can do it all these other ways, you're supposed to take your palm like this and go as if it's scanning your palm print. Obviously, it's not. But this is so clearly done for flashy effect. There's no other reason, no other explanation I can think of, other than it to be for some sort of dramatized futuristic appeal. I have, and there's another one over there. It's on the other side as well, hanging off of it like a goddamn yellow cordless phone. It's not over there. They've only got two here, and I have not seen this anywhere else in the city that I've gone so far. This design for the crossing indicator, I have not seen it anywhere else. I think it's so stupid. No, and it's especially infuriating why I'm taking so long to highlight this, because whatever company produces this, making, I guarantee, millions off of it if they're selling it to various highly wealthy communities, or at least they're selling it to the construction companies that are working for the municipal government, placing in different traffic stops for the city, or if the city has their own branch, they have their own construction company that they utilize that isn't private. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I guarantee there is a company that produces these that is making millions, probably in the industrial area if they're from Laval, that has a factory that is wasting materials, wasting metal, all of their compounds, the plastic for the fucking red there. You don't even need the red light. You don't need it. Wasting so much fucking resources, and absolutely wasting, well, fossil fuel. I guarantee if they're factory manufacturing it, it's releasing CO2 into the air. It's a waste. It's pointless. It's unneeded. I already now think that these buttons are unneeded. But even still, I can agree with people that that is a simplistic and fine design. That's a basic concept to just... It didn't need to be up... This relates to what I highlighted in my theory of the lie of constantly needed technological advancements in my scientific proposal videos. This is not needed. It's not needed. You didn't need to update that at all. It's a button, even for the ones that are motion sensory activated. There were those, many of those, in Ottawa, and I think there were a few in Gatineau. Even that's pointless. You don't need that. You don't need a motion sensor for it. You don't need it. It's so unnecessary. And this is the most unnecessary thing I've ever seen constructed. I mean it. There's no reason for it to look like this, for it to be shaped like this. There's no reason for it whatsoever, other than for flashy, histrionic appeal. Christ alive.
Just come in at 9 o'clock. Okay. 9 o'clock, it's closed.
Okay, you actually have a far better view from this, well, from this standpoint, or this location. You have a far better view of the giant parked UFO, apparently, that is on top of the Cineplex building. Come on, how else do you explain that design? I don't know. Why is it designed like that? I've, honest to God, never seen a movie theater or a Cineplex movie theater specifically designed like that. Oh God. And over there, apparently, is a pointless skydiving simulation studio. It's just mock skydiving. Again, unnecessary. So unnecessary. You build ginormous, high-powered fans to keep you levitating in the air. Pointless. You want to go skydiving? Get a parachute. I'm not an expert, obviously, at air-related sports. As far as I'm concerned, get the materials needed. If you can gather them up collectively, I would hope, hopefully, get the materials needed, getting a crop duster in the far-off countryside, or just a small two-seater passenger plane or a small cargo plane and bail out with a parachute. Go up to a certain altitude and jump out. You want to do that? Do that. You don't need to construct a business around it in terms of simulating it on the ground. And you don't need a damn building facility for it. Okay, oh, and this place. Okay, I saw this on the map. So apparently this is called Illuminate Laval. And it's temporarily closed, but it's a light show configuration, which from here, it's rather impressive in terms of an artistic work. Just, well, in terms of sculpting, but wiring, in terms of wiring overall, from what I can see. But, you know, I'm not going to make further judgment on it until I get a closer view, whether it's more of a minimalistic approach to, well, light design work, or if it's overly, so if it's problematically maximalist in terms of production. And we have some more condominiums over there. Okay, so I'm gonna cross over underneath the highway here to a portion of, well, the downtown, just the eastern half of the downtown area, because I want to check out a specific, well, neighborhood that is the only neighborhood in the entirety of the downtown area that is predominantly filled with seemingly townhomes, or standard Canadian townhomes. Well, I don't know I actually don't know the styling of it, but that's what I'm going to find out. I want to actually see, just because I'm curious to know the architecture and, well, I'm curious to know the real estate value of the area, and I want to know, like, the typical, get a bit of an estimate just from, well, the very clearly purchased objects that residents may have, of get an idea of the net worths of various inhabitants. Just because I have a sneaking suspicion that it's gonna be what I think it's gonna be. So we'll find out soon enough. Also, I am getting rather hungry, so I'm just gonna go through here, showcase this portion, see maybe if I can cut over to that area with the condos. You again as well. That's what I'm also gonna talk about. Okay, that actually reminded me. Thank you, Baser Tag, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna see if I can cut over there, and well, after all that, I'm gonna loop back around just to the central area of the downtown. Okay, let's see what I find. Well, that's an interesting looking building. I have not seen you before in the city, at least in my recollection. You have a clock tower on you. I don't know if you're just another apartment complex, or maybe as well that plus office buildings. Well, you might be rivaling the buildings in the southern end for tallest. Okay. I'm definitely going to try and get over to that end of the downtown area, to try specifically to get to the top of you. So I'm coming back for you, don't you worry. Alright, so I was actually somewhat wrong. Somewhat. So, predominantly, having just taken a stroll through this neighborhood along the road I wanted to come in through, infrastructurally, it seems to be a mix between upper middle to standardized middle class for the most part. But at the entrance, on the... Oh, they were very impatient. Oh, hello, squirrel. Huh. Okay, I don't mean this in any sort of spiritually degrading way. But, well, in terms of certain cultural practices. But, my God. How do I put this? That's the derpiest looking Buddha statue that I've ever seen. I'm sorry, it is. Where was I? Oh yeah, the neighborhood. At the area that I came in on, that was part of more busier, a busier roadway. There were what appeared to be some lower income housing units, mainly just small shared apartments. And it triggered my memory because I had recognized them and thought, oh wait, yes, I have passed through, well, at the very least, I passed by the western half of this little neighborhood when I was on my way walking to the hospital a few weeks ago. But that time it was at night. But I did recall that I had taken notice of those buildings before. So, well, to some degree, at least, it's not as elitist as I thought it was going to be. So I'm happy that I was proven wrong on that point. But this definitely does give way to the fact, as even though it's still not a lot, well, to some degree, this area, even, well, with some amount of more higher-end wealth being poured into here, the presence of pseudo-segregation is actually somewhat noticeable in this area. I know I didn't get footage of it, but, well, from going, well, down on the opposite end of this road to here, well, once you get to the end of it, in terms of the suburban housing units, even though this is still technically the downtown area of Laval, again, kind of similar to Gatineau, it's very suburbanized. Well, not very suburbanized, but has suburban elements to it, interestingly enough. But once you get down to the opposite end, you'll see from a distance, obviously, the Centropolis Cineplex building on the opposite side of the highway and the bridge. Laid out very clearly, it seems, for the purposes of, well, to some degree, keeping this portion of the downtown area away from where I was. And, I also didn't show it, but the plaza, well, down on the opposite road, has quite a number of small businesses in it. So, that'd be another reason why I'd assume. Oh, yes, and... Oh, what was this? Fuck. I'm thinking that is a racial... That is racial degradation against Greeks. I think there was probably going to be a K at the end of that. So, well, not a lovely bit of nationalism at all, but, well. Oh yes, so I should also mention, I stopped in a restaurant just to eat some breakfast. And just fill myself up for the day, hopefully. So that I won't have to eat again until way later. And I also, when I finished eating, just charged my phone up and took a nap. As I don't know if you can tell from the positioning of the sun, it's a few hours later from the last clips that I filmed. So, yeah. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is make my way over to, if I can film it through the gap here in the trailer of the semi-truck, let's make my way over to you. So I looked up what you are. From the map, I actually thought at first you might be a part of the campus for, well, on the campus property of Montmorency College. But you're not. You're in front of it. You are very much an ultra-rich residency building. I believe the name was Le Residence Soil. I can't remember the rest. I'll figure it out once I actually get down there. But, well, you're definitely built farther off from the main stretch of road that runs through your portion of the downtown area here. Except for, well, maybe this turn off here. Okay. Let me get over there. Okay. Another instance of over-sexualization. Right. One. Either that photo is, well, edited, photoshopped, and cropped. Or that model has been starving themselves on a very, very much problematic and unhealthy diet. That very much, I don't see any other explanation for that. And also on the basis of, okay, well, let's just say that is their natural body type. Let's say, because as far as I'm concerned, other than, well, what appears to be, oh yeah, no, that's not their natural body. Okay, yeah, no, look at that. Yeah, the abdomen section, it doesn't even match it. Yeah, that's so clearly that's Photoshop. Okay, but let's say, okay, that photo didn't look like that, and that model was in, well, let's say they were actually showing their genuine body type for that modeling display. I would still call that over-sexualization, because again, as far as I'm concerned, it's for performative activism, and it's just to amalgamate mass profit and tantalize people with this fantasy of supposedly perfection beauty, which is complete over-sexualization. They don't actually care about her sensualism. Or, sorry. That was genderous to me. I shouldn't have said that. That's obviously that. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm tired. Point being, that's they don't care about their sexual expressionism. They don't care about it. And that's what I consider to be over-sexualization. We meet again, Remax. My formidable real estate foe. Okay. You, the residents. Soil. Again, might be pronouncing that correct. Also, okay, so you are impressively tall for Laval. Okay, so yeah, now getting an up-close view of it, I think you're giving those buildings in the southern end of the city a run for their money. But, well, in terms of architecture, you are incredibly impressive. Very beautiful, at least in my opinion. If only you were used for other purposes. Of course, the garden has a built-in bridge. Well, it's off limits right now, I guess, but... Oh my god. Oh, and of course, is that a built-in human-made waterfall? Yeah, I think that is. Well, it's not activated for the season yet. I guess the water pumping hasn't been turned on. But, oh, annoying. And as for your clock towers, again, which are quite impressive, okay, either I don't think they're working, because I think they're in the same, the hands are in the same position as they were when I first noticed it this morning, or earlier in the morning. And also, they're completely off in terms of time right now. These two that are facing my direction, they're completely off. Unless they're just meant to showcase time zones of different regions of the globe and not strictly Canada, or maybe different. Well, actually, no, those times I don't think match up at all for the other time zones of Canada. Or absolutely, well, right now it's, looking at my phone, it's 11:57 a.m. Yeah, those two times displayed don't match that in the slightest. Is there one on this side though? Let me just see. Oh, and of course you're right next to a mega grocery store. Okay, yeah, there's a third one. There's probably a fourth one on the opposite side, but I can't tell. Yeah, you don't look like you're working either. Oh, okay. What the hell is that? Okay. It's an art display. I'll get a closer look at it. Okay. The residence Soil. Yeah, okay, I was right about the name. Menor Laval. Family estate. Yeah. Families of very, very high-end class. Okay. I'm going to attempt to actually go in and get to the top floor. It looks like, at least with the size of the window frames at the top, that there is a rather large, well, section that you can possibly at least somehow get into. Also, I just want to point out, yeah, I've talked about this in some of the other exploring city videos. Well, in Gatineau, and I might have mentioned it. No, I don't think I mentioned it here. But in Gatineau, I mentioned it. Yeah, Metro here, the mega corporate grocery retailer, metro is just called Metro Plus here, everywhere. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. Seriously, every branch is just called Metro Plus. Whereas from everything I know of any other province, especially Ontario, it's just called Metro. Interesting. Okay. Let me get in here. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I will give credit where credit is due. At least it is minimalistic. It's utilizing recyclable materials to actually make an art piece, so, well, old tires, some plastic panels, and old plastic bottles. Okay, so props for minimalism. But design-wise, I'm sorry to whoever the artist was. It is quite terrifying to my eyes. Oh, did you think I was giving up that easily? Nope. Not a chance in hell. Well, as you can see, yeah, it is fucking little ponds, human-built ponds that have been dug out this little section of the garden here. So, well, yeah. Very just passive-aggressive responses overall. I tried to... Oh, actually, something just occurred to me. Family estates. Ah, okay, maybe this is an ultra-wealthy retirement home. That might be. Well, then again, the amenities that are given to, well, the property don't seem to be much different than, well, any other elitist living quarters I've been to. Given, you know, the indoor golf course, the tacky jazz, blues music inspired paintings to pretend like these people actually have good taste in music, or actually, no, that was a little insensitive of me. Pretend like they actually care about, well, jazz music. Yeah, that came out wrong. Just to be clear, I think jazz music is fantastic. Same with blues and soul music. I'm just saying, I highly doubt most residents of here actually think that. So, well, I snuck on to Chateau Montebello's property in Montebello, Quebec. So, I think it's fair to say I may have a chance of getting in here, at least just to the top floor. Then again, it was just the property. Well, actually, no. What am I saying? I got into the actual foyer and roamed around the hotel when I was there. But getting into the integrated subtly into, well, just the property's environment, I guess. Well, I had to cover somewhat of sneaking on from the woods for that. As for here, well, not so much. But you know what? I'll scope it out for a sec and then see what I can do. And if not, I'm not gonna worry about it. Should I try? Oh, well. Well. Okay. Nah, no what? Never mind. There goes that option anyway. Yeah, okay. I walked around the perimeter and I see no genuinely viable options that don't end in me getting caught in some way and then having to, don't want to be manipulative, just bullshit my way through explanations. So, yeah. Well, that third time's, fourth time's, and fifth time's the charm doesn't seem to be working out too well. So, well, hey, at least its exterior is nice. But there's still hope yet. Maybe one of these. Okay, maybe not the condos. I'm probably not going to try to get into the condos here. Because, well, these ones don't even look like they have rooftop terraces. But maybe that glass tower over there. I'll give it a try. Hopefully I don't get them alerted to me. Oh, great. Oh. That mixture to some degree of standardized middle class dropped off pretty quickly. Okay. There's still hope yet for going back to the center of the downtown to the condo I was at earlier at around 5 in the morning, where the janitor told me to come back at around 9, which, well, it's past that now. 3 hours past that. But I'm still going to give that a whirl once I get back around there. But first, let me just see about the potentiality of getting up on you. Okay. Why? Were you trying to make googly eyes with the damn camera lenses? Okay. Yes, the building's architectural design is crappy modern art. I'm sorry, I know that was harsh as well. Okay. I'm just gonna say I'm not personally a fan of this design of a building at all. Particularly, not so much the shaping of it. Okay, because you know what, fine. A bit of a nice abstract feature to some degree, okay. And I don't think any of, like, I don't know the architectologists or the construction workers that built it, but there's probably no, like, major structural integrity problems with it. You know, also because considering it appears to be an elitist corporation. But either way, what I'm not a fan of is the glass. Okay. I don't get why so many, and I mean it, so many corporate enterprise headquarters and office buildings are the entire, what's supposed to be, I guess, some amount of walling, you know, to separate the higher altitude external environment from the employees inside and all personnel in there. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's a pretty big safety hazard. If someone just slightly leans on that glass, I'm sure it's somewhat reinforced. But even then, like, well, reinforced maybe slightly because it looks pretty thin. And also, if someone was to accidentally, like, bump into it, slipped, fall near the side of it, and shatter it, well enough to, you know, completely break it, well, I'm sure it would send someone flying out the window and down to the ground below. But, you know, hey, what do I know? I'm just a stupid homeless person, right?
information on the history of certain elements of the city of Laval?
Oh, not here. I don't think so. Maybe in the. Let me ask. Just a second.
Au revoir.
Donc, vous cherchez exactement, c'est?
Je ne connais pas anglais.
Okay, so we can switch English. So, what are you looking for exactly?
Well, I'm really just saying the two, I guess, histories of the city.
Histories of the city. Okay, we have. I think we have a book or two with the history of the city here, but they are in French, probably. Maybe if you go, did you went to the local library, the city library,
I've been to a few of the public libraries.
and they don't have anything?
Not just, well, in terms of, I guess you'd call it a resource librarian, not exactly. I was more so hoping to speak to see if there was anyone I could actually talk to and I know about just the general history.
Okay, general history of. Okay, I can show you the. Is that for a work for school or?
For independent job sort.
Okay, your own interest.
Pretty good.
That's it. Okay. Are you able to read French?
Unfortunately not. I'm not able
No?
to speak capable French.
Okay. No, because sometimes we don't speak, but we can read the language. Okay. Have you been to the website of the city, or sometimes you can have information, but probably it's all in French.
Probably, no, I haven't listened to the website as of yet.
The problem here in Quebec that everything is in French if we are in French city. There's not much information in English.
That's okay.
It's called Laval. I have a few of them here, but they are all in French.
think would be like a history department of Chicago that someone
might help you with that, with this, the history here, the history teachers, they don't teach the local history. They teach Greek and Egyptian and those kind of history, they or the, big events in the world, and the local history, there's nobody. But I can show you maybe c'est tout,
Well, you can have access to English on the website.
you only a website in English?
Mhm.
Là, ça a l'air intéressant.
Mais là, c'est loin. Ah, oui, non, c'est Google Translate.
Ah, c'est les Google qui translate les affaires, ok. Ouais, mais c'est it's better than nothing, Google Translate, even if it doesn't translate very much.
There's the Laval News since 1998. 1983, sorry. But,
Well, but it's a newspaper. It's a local newspaper, so which it's not,
would be incapable of French probably.
yeah.
Je pense qu'à la banque, à la BNQ.
Mais on pourrait peut-être vérifier.
Ouais.
C'est tout, everything is in French because it's for local history. It's
Mainly in French.
mostly in French.
That's alright.
Because we have kind of many things here. I've seen one or two books, but there's much more than what I thought. It's all in French.
Would by chance City Hall
Maybe the City Hall may have something in English, but I don't know if they have things that that are translated. It seems I don't think they have anything translated.
is there by chance, archival building or something? Just,
Pardon me?
do you by chance know if there's an archival building or something?
Yes, but it's all the same thing, Guys will be French, because it was here. It was a French community who came here first.
Yeah.
It was all small villages on this island, which was called Jesus Island. And so, if you don't have anybody to translate it to, or if you don't have anybody who can help you with that, because sometimes you can, scan and put it through Google Translator. You could do that. Are you a Laval citizen?
No, I'm not. I'm
You're
initially
not?
from Toronto.
You're from Toronto.
Initially, yes.
Okay. And you're living in Laval right now?
I live right now.
Okay. No, as a citizen is meaning that you're living in here. You have an apartment here. No, do you? You're traveling.
No,
and
not actually.
You're traveling. Okay. For now, you're in Laval. Next month, you don't know where you will be. Okay.
Most likely in Montreal.
Most likely around Montreal. Okay.
Do you by chance know the archival building?
Archival building, it would be, there are some, No,
I have,
do you have access at home or for yourself? Do you have a personal computer? You can go to on the internet.
I have a phone that I can see it.
Okay. So what I'll bring you a few addresses.
Okay.
You can go to, and with Google Translate, you know, you put it through the Google Translate and they will translate it for you. You will see that in English. Plus ou moins, más o menos, more or less, more or less in English. You know, Google Translate is a very good
That's alright.
translator, but it's better than that. If you don't remember anything of your French course in high school,
Actually, I was exempt from it.
oh yeah?
Yes.
So you didn't even have the French course, was it géométrie?
Oui.
Ouais, j'ai
C'est
fait
au
ça.
sein
Ah, ça va, c'était- ouais, I'll write it down to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oui, c'est désolant. C'était comment? Merci. Merci.
C'est encore, je t'ai passé le code today.
Hmm?
Comment tu?
Non.
So, this is a genealogy, it's like it's an organization which is, they keep the old archives of the how people were living, and you know, they can church or genealogy as well. So, you know, so it's called Société de généalogie d'histoire. So it's a society, you know, a historical society. So it's civil, it's not the municipal government, okay?
Okay.
And you also have the city of Laval. Maybe they have a little culture. Most of it, they have a part which is called culture. So the website of the city, okay, if you go to their culture and histoire et patrimoine, you have a little history of the city, and there's a map, so you can just go to the map, and they have probably the history of every little you know, surroundings, part of the city.
Alright.
Okay? Borough. I think you said that. No? All the. Un quartier, c'est un borough.
Neighborhood.
Neighborhood.
Ah,
if you don't even read French. Because
Okay.
here we have many things, but they are all in French. French school.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much.
And if you go to, do you know the AMQ, which is the Great Library in Montreal? Do you know that?
I don't believe everything was one.
Which is like a national library
Oh.
of Quebec. Okay. As you are traveling and you'll be in Montreal, yeah. Oh. Yeah, many archives already online. And you can go there. I will check if they have the same books that I.
Okay.
Walking tour of Laval,
That's fine.
unfortunately, there isn't much there are few, you know, like Alton's or President Guide or kind of that. We have.
Probably a lot more of the focus would be, I guess, on the researchers on Montreal than Laval.
Yeah, there's much more things that is written in English about Montreal city than Laval. Because Laval is like now it's a suburb of Montreal, but before it was just two parish, you know. It was small villages that came out together in the 70s, 69 I think. So it was all small villages around the island. They came out together and so all French speaking, so all culture, all farm for a long, long time. So it's been a suburb of Montreal just for the last 50 years. Not much.
Well, thank you for your help.
Not much, but
Well, trust me, it's more than I usually got. Learned about it so far. But
so that's about it. So welcome in Quebec. I don't know if you were here for long, but are you traveling around Canada or around?
yes, mostly heading north, but going through.
Okay, northbound. So you're going up north?
Yes, more towards Levis and Quebec City.
Quebec City? Okay, it's not that much more, but it's northern than Toronto, of course. And Quebec City is a very nice city as well. So, and you, over there also, there's much about history in English because the city has been under colonial British since 1760. 63. and as there were a big citadel built in Quebec, which is like so there was a lot of English speaking people there. So also good English community. English people. So that's it. I wish you luck. I wish you well.
This one?
And have a nice day.
You too. Have a nice day.
Bye bye.
Good. That means the guy that's sitting on the cliff through the pocket and just little bulletins and snippets about it in terms of factual knowledge. Well, I could definitely write a bias version of that, that's for sure.
Okay, another thing that I've been picking up on, not only is, well, in what the area that Centropolis owns the land of, not only is their O symbol plastered all over the place, but various other, well, certain amount of other private companies also just use an O as, well, to signify their logo. I don't know what it is specifically about the O, it just, I guess, makes it look very fancy to them. I don't know. Okay, I'm back in the main business hub area of downtown Laval, and this condominium is my last attempt to try on video at least, and get on top of the roof of a building to the very obvious terrace that they have up there. Hopefully it's achievable this time to some degree or another.
Bonjour, vous appelez quelqu'un?
Je ne sais pas français.
Pardon?
Okay.
English, wait, you call someone to open for you?
I was wondering if there was a reception that I could.
Reception? For what? I'm security guy.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was possible to just take some photographs from the top floor of the city viewscape.
No, you are resident here?
Oh, no.
It's only for residents. It's private residence.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Thank you.
get into my line of work of doing pornography if you talk about your nether region so damn much. Well, wouldn't you know? The first building that I didn't film myself trying to escalate, I reached the top floor. With a bit limited, but you know what? Well enough view of the cityscape, the downtown area at least. So you know what? I'll take it. So, in closing, I guess, with this footage, I'll talk about what I was going to with, well, the gang tags in, well, the western, well, when the baser tag reminded me of it, just to sign this, well, close off this video for the most part. I'm gonna try and film one more section when I get back to where Cardi B and my tent are stationed, but that'll be it. Well, yeah, I'll film it, but I'm not gonna put it in this video, actually. No, this video is getting way too long. So, in terms of what I've noticed so far, there's obviously quite the slew, especially in the St. Martin district and, well, St. Rose, as well as a good portion of where I went to in Pont-Vieux. Well, there's quite a lump sum of graffiti tags, and they're very clearly, I definitely now are affiliated to, well, gang crime syndicates. And in relation to that, I'll splice in footage at the end of this, which I was going to anyway, of when I was making my way over into the Chomedy neighborhood in the southern end of the city to go begin eating at various restaurants in that area. And I was making the last two Exploring Laval videos. Well, I went under a bridge that was littered with graffiti tags of these various symbols. And I also found evidence of someone, or maybe even a few people, having been living in that, the underpass of the highway bridge, which was one of the connecting bridges between Laval and Montreal. So, I decided to obviously go investigate it, and I found, well, one piece of paper that was a document of some kind, looked like a receipt for an auto repair. Like someone had made a repair on an automobile, and I didn't get footage of it, but I took a photo, and as I'm making my way towards the southern end of the city again to go into the St. Dorothy district, the western end, I'll try to see if I can figure out anything with that, whatever it may be. But from what I can tell, it very much seems like the various gangs that are leaving these tags, well, they seem to be in a bit of feuding to some degree. Because I've noticed as well, on many of the tags, in certain big clusters of them, they're marked over each other. Not even like just one was placed on the side to say, well, we've been here as well, or no, this is our territory, and rather aggressively like blurring out, attempting to blur out the other tags, which obviously can happen. But, well, in regards to some of the, well, in the more impoverished areas that I've been to, and even potentially, because when I was talking with someone a few weeks ago, who I know over the phone, and I told them about my explorations with House 265 on St. Rose Boulevard, well, they offered up the idea, which, given how many tags were of one specific gang, definitely, as, well, seemed to be the territorial rulers of that district, because they were pretty well the only tag that was littered around that district. Well, they offered up the idea that the fire that happened at the house, if the business owners, and go watch Exploring Laval Part 1 because you're not going to understand any of this, if the business owners were in such financial desperation, they might have done some under-the-table paradeals and negotiations with certain crime lords, and for, well, financial protection and security, so that if basically they take a portion of the profit made from the small business, the gang syndicate, and in return, well, they provide some amount of financial compensation to them for maybe other sources they have of gaining finance for their operations. But in terms of ideologic, well, as far as I'm concerned, ideologic cultures of various crime syndicates, just as the same as, well, the corrupt political officials and societal, well, economic disparities that create them in the first place and put them in the situations they're in, that causes them to go towards those lifestyles. Well, it can be rather violent and aggressive approaches that they use in terms of, well, how they obtain and keep a regulation on their profit. So basically, the idea they offered up was, well, this one, but then accompanying that if the house was set on fire, and there's the rumor of insurance fraud, and with the evidence I found, seems to be very much pointing to that. Another option could be that if they were affiliated with a protection bond to a gang unit, then, well, if they weren't able to pay back the gang, they might have set the place ablaze in arson. To this time not insurance fraud arson, just arson in terms of, well, you didn't fulfill our wishes and we provide this for you, so burn it as like a message to them and the owners, or to anyone else affiliated with them and their business, to pay up on time, basically. That could be a possibility. Now, given I found those taxation documents, I don't know again why they would be there, but another possibility was that that this person offered up was that they did try to actually burn those, because I found wooden crates up in that room in the upper level of the house, again with various tax receipts and return documents spilled all over the place. They could have been in those crates, actually, something that I overlooked. They could have been in those crates and they just thought, well, the fire will burn them because they're made of wood. And so, but when they didn't receive much damage at all. Maybe some people broke in looking for valuables after the place had long been abandoned. Well, long for 3 years, but the amount of time it had been abandoned. And in doing so, they went down into some documents in the darkened room. They maybe couldn't have read it. And from the cracks that were seeping from there was light in the main dining room area that was on the lower level that was seeping through from various cracks, and it was much better like just natural lighting. So they could have taken them down there to try and read it, but when they realized it wasn't anything valuable, they just left it there. That's another possibility. Now for that one, I'd say it's on par with, well, at least 2 of the initial ideas I had for the potentiality of insurance fraud. Well, even if so, that still means, in that possibility, it still means insurance fraud, like if the owners torched the place. Or if, say, there was criminal involvement of a crime syndicate that set it ablaze, and someone just found those documents after breaking in afterwards. True, that could be true as well, but either way, it's just another option. But it's very clear that, well, especially in, say, the St. Martin district and St. Rose district, with how many tags there is high activity of members, at least, of said gangs living or roaming in those areas. Now, I don't know yet if these markings are, and the gangs that are associated to them, are specifically just stationed here in Laval, just in the city, or what could be another possibility, which is just as likely, is that they're Montreal originating gangs that are spread out all throughout the GMA, so Montreal, Laval, Longueuil, maybe Terrebonne, I believe, is another city that's just, well, it's above Jesus Island and Montreal Island. Or maybe even in St. Jerome, as far as St. Jerome, potentially. So, I don't know that for sure yet, but I need to do more research in that regard. And, well, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So, I did want to talk about some more things in this video, but it's been a long night, and, well, I don't think I'm cognitively up for it right now. So, hope you enjoyed this, and see you next time in whatever bullshit I get myself wrapped up in next. Nice fucking propaganda, Centropolis. Okay. Alright, so I swear this is going to be the last clip that I actually filmed, but this is the other major advertisement for a condo that is at some point going to be going up in this well enough sized patch of forest here in not the downtown area, the St. Martin district. As well, if any of you saw my previous videos, I'm sure you recognize the restaurant. And obviously developed by fucking Centropolis Development Company, as well as, well, this might be the realtor, I guess, Metro Cité. I have no clue, I have no idea of anything, and I know nothing about them. But as you can see, it's far, far, far out of the bounds of the Centropolis shopping center. So, you're gonna further destroy an already degraded and suppressed community. Good on you, fuckers. You're the same tag that's plastered all over St. Rose. And you're down here at the district border between Vermont and Pont-Veilleux. Huh. That's for all of you. Well, I have no clue what any of you represent, and I also don't know what you represent. Still not entirely clear. But I'll try and find out. Okay. Well, from what I said in Exploring Laval Part 2, I can definitely debunk that it's, well, a local communal tag for, well, that's just culturally common amongst the youth of the St. Rose district, so there's that.